Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's episode of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys making some time out of your day to hang out with me a little bit and check the video out. And this is one of those videos that you're gonna love because it is a meaty, information-packed video. Guys, there is so much to learn in this video that has taken me years to learn as far as how to modify and master a tube, that you guys are just going to love this after it gets done. It's really going to help you guys catch some good tube fish. And the reason I wanted to do it is the month of April and May, in my opinion, are the two best months to fish a tube. So this is the time to do it. So I've got some really nice modifications to show you guys here. Also, guys, speaking of April, one of my favorite techniques in April besides tube fishing is fishing a shaky head. And I just wanted to share with you guys the shaky head that is just, this is the one I use. I absolutely love it. This is that Gamakatsu G Finesse Tricky Head. It's got a nice O'Shaughnessy bend on it. Just everything about it. 10 keeper, the way the hook eye is molded into the head there. This is just the best shaky head that you can use. There's not a better one out there. So I'll put my Tackle Warehouse link in the description if you guys would like to get a pack and try them. And guys, right now Tackle Warehouse has got like 35% off on a bunch of stuff on the website. So if you guys use that link and bookmark it, my link I put in the description, the channel gets a small percentage of anything that you guys purchase. So it's a good way to support Intuitive Angling if you're inclined to do that. Big thank you from me and my family if you're doing that. Okay guys, let's get into this thing, man. This is gonna be a good one for you guys. You're gonna like it. Now there's 3 modifications I wanna show you on this tube. And then I'm gonna give you guys some general tube fishing tips and advice as far as setting it up, line, sinkers, hooks, all that type of deal. Okay, the first modification I wanna show you, we've talked about this a little bit before, the roughing up part. This is one of the necessary things you have to do. Now, most tubes when you buy them, they have quite a bit of salt in them. And since they have salt in them, it makes them stiff and hard. Like, you guys can't feel it, but this thing is really stiff and hard right here. So I'm gonna show you the before and after, the first modification before you do the other two, is break up all the salt on it. And this is so critical on a tube because not only will it change the color of the tube to make it look a lot more appealing to the fish, but it makes your hookups a lot better because softening this plastic up by bringing that salt to the surface, it makes it a lot more softer and pliable. So here's the before and after as far as you can just see the coloration that it turns the tube into here by bringing that salt. Okay, now the next modification, what you want to do is you want to take a pair of scissors and cut a little channel about a 1/2 inch long in the tube, just like that, just on the bottom of it. Now, what this is going to do, you can see that right there. What this is going to do is this gives you a channel to put your hook in, so the hook doesn't have to come through 2 sides of plastic. You're only going to come out 1 side. So this little tip right here is going to get you a lot more consistent hookups, because you wouldn't think it, guys, but you lose a lot of fish on a tube. Tube, for whatever reason, just the inherent way they're designed and the hooks in them, you're going to lose some fish. But this right here, by cutting that little opening there, it's going to really help out. Okay, now the next thing you're going to do, the final modification before we get into the tips, is take a Zoom trick worm and you want to cut the head off probably about 1/4 of an inch or so, where you've got just a little bit of the head in there like that. And then get it wet. You want to lube it up a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to insert this piece of worm up into the tube. Now sometimes this takes a little bit of practice and work, but one of the things you can do is take like a pin or something. I'm just going to take this screw right here and work it up. You got to work that little piece of plastic. You want to get it all the way up into the head there. So just take your time, push it up in there. Once you get it up in there a little bit, you can work it up with your finger. Just sort of work it up there to the end. Now what this is going to do when we get it up there, it's going to make the head solid, because the problem with a tube, as far as getting it to rig right, is the tubes are they're hollow on the heads there. So I'm going to show you before and after here what we're talking about. So work it up in there. It's going to take you a little bit. Okay, I've got the plastic worm is up in the head there. Okay, if you rig a tube hook, like this is one right here without it in it. If you rig the tube hook without that in there, this hollowness inside there, once you put your hook back in through there, it makes this thing want to come out. It makes it want to come out through the top there, and it's always coming out like that. So if you flip and pitch in there, this is what happens, simply because this is hollow and there's nowhere for even this offset hook to really stay in there. So by having the tip in there, you've got a solid piece to go into. Now when you put the hook in there, you want to make sure it's lined up right, because you want to come out, you want to come in from the bottom where you've separated it. So you're going to come in like that all the way through. Tubes are not the easiest things to rig. So now on the end there, guys, this thing is inserted. The plastic worm has my hook eye in there. So this is going to be very secure. It's not going to come loose. I'm going to maintain that. And then you can see the little opening right there. I'm going to come through and I'm going to put it through that one side, and I'm going to lie it just like that. Now, most of the time on my tube, if I can get away with it, I don't want to bury it back in there. I want to just lay it on the top, but you can also bury it back just a hair to make it weedless like that. So that's the setup like there with the tube. Okay, now the next thing, now we're talking pretty much for pitching and flipping. One of the things I'm going to give you guys a piece of advice on is your slip sinker. Number one, do not peg the sinker. You want this sinker to slide freely on a tube. I don't know what it is about it, but you're going to get a lot more bites if this thing falls freely. Even if I'm pitching it and flipping it in like bushes or whatever, this is the way that I rig it right here. I've experimented with both. I can't explain why it is, but there's something about the way the bait works in the water. Do not peg the thing. Let it sink freely like that. And then, so that's how you've got the setup there. That's how it looks when it's ready to go for pitching and flipping. Now, most of the time and we're talking here, the tube video today, since it's a Texas rig tube, it is for pitching and flipping. And you guys hear me talking about, I don't like the offset hooks. You have to use an offset hook on a tube. A straight shank hook will not work. So I usually use like a 3/0 offset hook on there with that. Okay, the next thing when you're flipping a tube is you want to use heavy line. There's something about pitching and flipping a tube around cover. I don't care if you're pitching it to lily pads or, docks or bushes or logs or whatever. There's something about the way that a tube falls with 25-pound line. I got 25-pound Seagar with a 3/16 ounce sinker. This is another thing I forgot to mention, guys. The sinker size is critical. I never go over 3/16 unless it's super, super windy or super thick cover. Most of the time I like an 1/8 ounce or a 3/16. There's something about spring bass. They like the way this falls. And when you couple a 3/16 ounce sinker up with 25-pound line, the glide on this bait is perfect. It's like irresistible to the fish. And I've got it just on my Megabass Alkalies flipping stick. This is my setup for the tube right here. But color is pretty much like anything else, guys. I've got a wide range of colors with the tubes here. I'll show you right here. It just depends on my water clarity. I mean, I really like the green pumpkins and watermelons. I do have black for dirty water. This electric blue's a nice one. But tubes are one of those baits that they have been around for a long time, and people, they sort of have gotten away from them a little bit. But man, I'm telling you guys, there are times when they will bite a tube when they won't bite anything else. And this is the time of year for it, April and May. So anyway, guys, try these modifications. Just rough it up, cut that little slit about 1/2 inch and put that little piece of plastic worm up on the head there, and it's going to make the bait more efficient. You're going to land more fish with it. The bait's going to maintain its integrity, because like I said, one of the inherent problems with a tube, if you don't do it the way I talked to you about, you're going to lose a lot of fish. The bait's going to get crooked. The hook's going to get all funky on the thing. But if you set it up the way that I talked right here, it's definitely going to help you guys out with your tube fishing. So hope it helps you guys catch a bunch of fish, and we'll talk later.